now in the time that we have left, we move towards the second sheet, which is some goal setting. So, you know, we've been talking about your professional growth, and only you can decide how you want to grow as a professional, right? So I'm not here to tell you what your goals should be. There are no right or wrong goals. There's just the goals you set for yourself. We'll talk a little bit, we'll brainstorm some ways to help you meet your goals.
Okay.
And then that's really it. And then after that, I'll tell you kind of what happens next. But so as we've talked about, well, actually, using the sheet right here, let's say it this way. Using your first sheet, you've gotten lots of feedback from families, from your own mind, and from me. And again, there are some similarities, there are some differences, and it's not that everything on here is right or wrong, it's just feedback. But out of everything we've talked about, you might want to set one or more goals for yourself. A goal could be an area that you want to improve in, like we talked about for growth in, or it could be something you know you do really well, that your goal is to strengthen that even more. Either way would be, you know, a healthy way to think about that.
Yes.
So as you think about setting, let's just start with one goal. Setting a goal for yourself could be over the next month or year or 5 years. What would be one goal that you'd set for yourself for your own professional growth?
For my own professional growth, I think the one major thing would be I'd like to continue on with furthering my early childhood education.
Okay.
Into getting my BA in early childhood. So
That's a great
finding
goal.
the time.
Okay, well, but let's put down the goal though.
Okay.
Is
furthering my childhood education.
That's right. That's right.
I should say early childhood.
Okay. So again, this worksheet now has a place for 3 goals. You could do 3 goals or stop with this one goal. We don't have to fill the whole thing out.
Okay.
But is there another goal for you that you feel strongly about that you want to set for yourself?
I would like to also once again go back to the observing children.
Okay.
So I'd like to find more strategies that I could use to where observation comes into a natural, so it comes in more naturally into the classroom than when I need to make the time to do it. So, you know, like I said earlier on, I sort of have to set the time or day of the week to say, okay, today I'm observing so and so and so.
Okay.
I pinpoint an individual child. But I think if I have observing cards or things that are just readily available for
Okay,
myself.
hang on now, you're getting ahead of yourself.
Oh.
It's okay.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. The goal, though, is that you want to observe children's behaviors more frequently.
Right.
Okay, so let's write that down.
Okay.
And then in this box,
I
I've
can
already
then-
heard you say 3
all
things
right.
you could put in that box. But the goal, it sounds like, is observing children more
children
frequently
more
than you
frequently.
currently do. Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry.
Okay, that's a goal every childhood professional early childhood professional should probably set for her or himself. So I heard you mention a few things. I was intrigued by, what were you saying about cards?
I would probably make some, you know, observation cards.
Okay.
Where maybe I'm watching fine motor today, so I'd set up some fine motor activities and just sort of readily have it available for me to say, okay, she cuts with this hand or that hand, and
okay. I want to give you one piece of feedback about that. You wouldn't want to set up activities for that purpose.
Okay.
That gets a little close to what feels like testing
okay.
children, right? You want your observations to be naturalistic.
All right.
So I love the idea of having those cards and using them when you know ahead of time, in this example, fine motor moments will come up, but you wouldn't probably want to say, I'm going to set up activity for fine motor today, and for, language skills tomorrow.
Okay.
But having the cards part of it, to me, seems like a great idea.
Okay.
Okay, so you could write that down. And you also mentioned, well, you said having multiple strategies.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So the cards would be one. Can you think of some other strategies or steps?
Other strategies or steps, I could even call in my director and have her be my eyes for that day, so I am then able to solely observe the children if need be.
Oh. Wow. Do you have a good relationship with your director? Are you comfortable enough asking that kind of question?
Yes, I believe so.
Wow, that's wonderful. That's wonderful.
And I'm so sorry.
No, it's fine.
And I think that's also a nice way for the director to come into the classroom and see the classroom setting, see the children,
Right.
and see how I, run the classroom type
I
of
think
thing.
that's wonderful. Not every teacher would feel brave enough to ask that of the director, So I just really want to acknowledge your courage.
Thank you.
And so you can write that one down. That's a great idea. And then I just thought of another idea that if you like it, you can write it down. You were talking about wanting to have multiple strategies for observation and documentation. Have you ever sat down and formally read any books on the subject?
I have not.
Okay. I'd also be happy to send you some great book titles and authors that would give you lots of strategies for that.
Great.
Okay.
Great.
So, so one of the ways to meet the goals is as simple as reading a book about it and educating yourself more about it.
We often forget about that.
Yes. So if you like that idea, you can write it down. I don't want to make you write it down, but
I like that idea.
okay. Okay. Do you have a third goal for yourself?
Not at the moment.
Okay.
Not at the moment.
So that's fine. So this last part of the reflective dialogue worksheet is really about commitment. Again, no one's going to see this worksheet but you.
Okay.
No, the conversation we've been having is really just for your benefit. If there was any value that you'll take away from it, it's whatever you've created for yourself in this last 40 minutes and whatever you'll remember and feel moved to take with you, So what I know about meeting goals is that people are most likely to meet their goal if they've really made a commitment to it.
Right.
So the purpose of this step 3 here is a chance for you to make a commitment. And again, the truth is, you're going to put it on this piece of paper and no one's going to see this piece of paper unless you want them to.
Right.
So therefore, although you don't have to do this, and again it has nothing to do with whether or not you get your CDA, because that part's already done, the scored part. But if you really feel strongly about these goals, I'm not going to require you, but I'm going to encourage you to share this with a mentor or a coach or your director, someone who can really provide you some support in meeting these goals, and also, hold you accountable. Because life goes by, and sometimes, unless we have someone else to hold us accountable, our goals kind of get pushed way down on our
Right.
priority list, So the purpose of this last part is to say, I'm going to commit to this. And then from that point forward, because you and I may never see each other again after today, which is okay, that's the nature
Right.
of being a PD specialist. But that's why meeting these goals is really between you and your commitment,
Okay.
So here you would write your name. Okay, so it says, or would you read what it says?
Sure. I, Priscilla Alexander, hereby commit to achieving my goals in order to develop as a professional and to become even more effective at serving the needs of the children and families in my care. That sounds like it.
It does, right? It feels very powerful
It does.
to hear you say that. So now you sign your signature, which is also kind of symbolic. And then I also will sign as the witness to your commitment. I'll sign my signature here. Again, there's nothing formal or legal about this. It's mostly symbolic, but sometimes that's the kind of things we need to help us really push forward to meet our commitments and grow personally or professionally, in this
Right.
case, professionally. So that concludes our reflective dialogue. Did you find it valuable?
I did. Thank you so much.
Good. You're very welcome. Well, so you know what happens next now is you're going to take this worksheet with you as well as your book. I've done my part. You said you've already gone and taken your exam.
I have.
So however you scored on that those scores have been sent to the council.
Okay.
Now what happens next is I go back to my computer and tally up all of my recommended scores from what I read in your portfolio and what I observed this morning. I send those numbers to the council, and then they have some way of combining all of those numbers, and then if the combined total number reaches the passing level, I don't know what that is, but reaches that passing level, then you have been awarded your credential and you'll receive. Did you apply online?
I did.
Mm-hmm. So then you'll receive very quickly an email letting you know you were awarded your credential or not. And then shortly after that in the mail you'll receive your paper Child Development Associate credential.
Yay.
So no matter how it goes, I feel certain that you're going to, based on what I saw this morning, I don't know one way or the other, but based on what I saw, I just thought you were so skilled. I was so impressed with
Thank you.
everything I saw and really appreciated the conversation as well.
It was
Thank
great.
you so much.
Thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome.